Hey, welcome to another episode of 3 Conservative Gimps, where we talk about anything political from Dogcatcher up to world leaders from a conservative point of view. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Hope you had a wonderful Juneteenth. I had the day off. I went out fishing today. Caught a couple carp. It was fun. I was out there for about 3 hours in the hot sun. Went to this pond that's behind a church that's not far from where I live, and it doesn't get a whole lot of fishing pressure there, evidently, because there's normally a trail that goes right down to the spot where I usually fish. And it was all overgrown. So I just walked down there and started fishing. So I am going to start this before I bring up our panel. I've got a video that I want to show. I think you'll find informative. It's about the ICE riots. So let's take a look at them, shall we? Let's see.
Young protesters are taking a stand against ICE by looting businesses. Why are you here today?
We heard there was a loot going on, but we was trying to figure out if it's Cinco de Mayo today or something.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about Father's Day cards being stolen. Stacy, back to you.
Why did you bring the flag here today?
I'm just so damn brainwashed, and the news told me to do it, so here I am.
Viva Mexico! Waving the flag of the country we fled while demanding to stay in the one we're trashing.
No one loves Mexico more than the people that refuse to live there. Why are you out here today?
I don't know the issue, but I stand in unity with whatever is trending right now.
Sir, can you tell me why you're out here today?
Because someone's got to lie to the Hispanics to make them think Republicans are the bad guys.
Te voy a dar con la chancla.
Viva Mexico!
Okay, time to go back. No, don't send me back there. It's horrible.
Why are you here today?
I majored in social justice, so I know what's best for communities I've never lived in.
As a liberal, we need to make the world think we're caring people.
Alrighty, I hope you found that. I hope you heard that. If not, I'll have to play that again. But let's get this show on the road. Let's welcome the mendacious and the choreographic and the wonderful. Well, let's bring him on. He's from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Let's take care. It is Lloyd Mendenhall. Welcome, welcome.
Oh my God. Hello, everybody in the chat. Mark, Brian, Joe. See who else is there. Anyways, welcome to everybody that's here. And hey, Art, that was just that was entertaining to say the least. And the sad part of it is that it's probably closer to the truth than we want to admit.
Yes. Welcome, Charles. Glad you could make it. He was having some issues. Glad you have those resolved. Welcome.
Hello, everybody in the chat.
Howdy. So, did you catch that little clip that I just played?
I doubt it.
Oh, okay. It was fun.
It was funny. Yeah,
it was a satirical look at the ICE protests, which was very funny. So we also have Steve Knowles. Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, so we had the No Kings rally this past weekend. And why they had it, I don't know. Just a bunch of, and it turns out a lot of them were my age and Lloyd's age, a bunch of wannabe fading hippies, pissed off that the gal they voted for didn't win. So it's,
it's a bunch of hippies that are they're tired of being retired, so they come out because they're trying to bring back the days of their youth, to try. I'm sorry, seeing a bunch of protesters with walkers just isn't what I call a good protest.
That's right. I saw a guy with a sign that said, "Stop unchecked fascism." Unchecked. I mean, no, that was the last administration. The people that, I don't know, decided to pick somebody to run for president without having a primary, without having the voice of the people.
Right.
Decide that sounds like that party is the party of kings.
Yeah. Well, a story I read or I heard today on sort of that, there was a person that was doxing the ICE agents and was putting up posts about where they lived and when they were going to raid and all this. Well, turnabout's fair play. They doxed him.
Oh, wonderful.
He just now issued an apology, is asking everybody, please don't, attack my family. I'm responsible for this. Please don't threaten my family. And I will be turning myself over to the authorities if it's deemed that I broke laws. So the funny thing was, he looks just like the melting marshmallow type of kid that still lives in his parents' basement. So, one of them little, but he's going to be facing the long arm of the law, I think, because of that.
Good. Now, the No Kings rally around the country were, I'd say, about 99% peaceful. Although we did have some knucklehead decide to drive his car through a crowd of people. Where was that? Was that in Virginia somewhere?
I can't remember. I do remember reading about it.
There were a couple of knuckleheads that decided to run through some demonstrators, and it's like, no. I mean, these people weren't throwing shit. They weren't attacking this guy's car, unlike, where Oklahoma says you could run them over if they attack your car or you feel threatened.
Same with Florida.
Yeah, Florida and
actually came out and said, you get run over, that's your problem.
yep. There's a couple other states that have that
Yeah.
same law, which I agree. But since Colorado's a blue state, it's too. So it's being your car is surrounded, and they're throwing shit at you, and you're about to be pulled out of your car.
What I think I would do is try to sneak out the back door while they're attacking in the front, and then just stand out there and throw rocks at it too. They wouldn't know I was part of they just think I was part of the crowd.
There you go.
That's my escape plan.
Now the ICE rallies, which are ICE riots, those are the ones that have been becoming violent. They just had one in New York City that turned violent.
They've been having a lot of them, yeah.
So it's the ICE rallies. Circling back to No King's Day, they're talking about having another one next month. So I wonder what day that might be on.
Yeah.
So that's our No Kings rally, and we've had one ever since.
Every year, yeah.
Since 1776.
Yep. Yep.
July 4th. It's called Independence Day, you idiots. Yeah.
Yeah. They of course this corresponded with the 250th anniversary of the Army.
Right.
And Donald Trump's birthday, which happened to be on the same day this year. So
right.
Which you think about it, if this is the 250th anniversary of the US Army, that was in 1775. That's when they formed. We hadn't declared our independence yet, but we were already, we'd already dealt with the shot heard around the world, and in Concord. Was it it was
Concord and Lexington.
Lexington, yeah.
Concord.
Yeah. I could think Concord, I couldn't think of the other one, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, our country is in essence 250 years old now.
Yes,
because this is when in 17. I don't know if you remember back in the bicentennial celebration. That was actually a 3-year event. It started in 1775 or 1975 and went to 1997. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right. 97.
77.
97.
Yeah, no, I'm getting my numbers all from 1975.
You really do need a nap today.
Oh
Lloyd.
man, I had a nap and it didn't do me any good at all. I wake up early in the morning and I'm fine, but if I lay back down, it's like, it's just this weather. Anyways, nonetheless, I can't blame it on anything. I'm just lazy right now. But 1977 to 1975 to 77. That's what I was trying to say.
That's right.
And that was the 3-year celebration of the bicentennial.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so we're not really doing that this time, but we did in a way by having the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army.
Right. And so next year will be the 250th anniversary of the of independence, and that'll be probably a really big.
Thank you, Mark.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My mind's in a fog. It is. I'm just.
And to clear things up, every country does have a 4th of July.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
And quite a few of them also have an Independence Day.
Yes, that's right.
That's actually what Cinco de Mayo is.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Philippines, that's their independence from the United States.
Right.
But their real Independence Day is June 12th. And that was when they got their independence from Spain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's what's going on. And And so the big news is what's going on in Iran. Wow. I mean, Israel has really, said the FOFA, fuck around and find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
FAFO, yeah.
Yeah, FAFO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
FAFO.
And
Yeah.
they decide, right after October 7th, they say, all right, that's enough. We've been putting up with this shit since pretty much day one of their existence. And it's just gotten really bad in the last, couple years with October 7th. And so they've been, a few months ago, they took out all the Iranians' defensive capabilities. And now they're actually flying during the day over there. They can fly with impunity.
Well, they finished. This last week. One of the things they did was they took out the rest of their air defense. They gave them full superiority over there.
Right.
Several things. I just watched. That's what I was doing when you text me and said it's time for the show. I was actually a couple of things. One of them had to do with the war over there. The crown prince in exile, who is the son of the Shah.
Oh.
He has been contacted by world leaders. From what I understand, is they have finally struck the hiding place of Khomeini. They know where he's at, and the Israelis apparently struck it. No idea of what's happened, but certain branches of the military are now rising up, are now calling for the support of the crown prince. So, this has just been developing in the last few hours. So,
okay, thank you for that.
And I actually got now. It's one of those. It's not confirmed by the big news agencies. This was from a guy who actually, who is an Iranian, and he's British Iranian. He's he's apparently lives in England, but he's got a lot of connections there. And this was some of the things that came out there. The crown prince, I did see. Now, when I said he actually had these people on, or had them, played their messages. So the crown prince is asking for the people of Persia, the people of Iran, to rise up in support of their nation and throw off the totalitarian government.
Right.
Here's a little something I didn't know. Both the Ayatollah Khomeini and the Ayatollah Khomeini, first off, that's not a normal Iranian name. And second off, they're not Persians. They're not Iranians. They're Arabs. Both the supreme leaders are not native to Iran.
Oh, interesting.
I just found this out from this guy, and I think it's called Tousi, Tousi TV was the name of his channel, and he does a lot of live broadcasting.
Okay.
Yes. Iranian Air Force Association citing Pahlavi. Yes, who's the crown prince of Iran. Yes, I saw that, and and they're calling out for the other groups to start stepping forward. So, we'll see what's going to happen there. It would kind of be nice if this, if they were able to do this and have if they're able to change their own regime and then come to the bargaining table and say, we don't want nukes, here you go. And we don't have to drop the bomb. Or we don't have to drop the, we as United States does not have to get involved. So that was one of the things I saw. As I said, I was watching that. was watching that. I was watching a Supreme Court decision that came down to today. So
Okay, that's interesting. Amazed
yes,
to
he does
see-
post on X.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
And what was I? Oh, there is an internet blackout in Iran right now, or at least in Tehran and some of the major cities. So they do have a blackout on the internet there. I did. Did you see
Yeah,
the video? Or huh?
but they're it's amazing that they're able to get all these videos out on their phones, though. So
There you go. Oh, courtesy of Starlink,
yes,
possibly. Uh-huh.
more than likely, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And did you see the video of the destruction of the F-14s?
Yes.
Wow. Talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
precision. Well, I mean, when you have control of the skies and
Yeah, when you can fly in there and just drop wherever it's your heart's content. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And I've also heard that some Iranian pilots are flying their jets into Oman and trying to seek asylum.
I hadn't heard that one, but yeah, could
Yeah.
be.
So,
Yeah. But
so
from what I understand, uh, most of like I think Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan are all supporting Israel at this point.
that's
It-
right.
You know, they're behind the scenes. They're saying, "Yeah, go for it."
Right.
Just
Well,
everybody's tired of it.
Jordan's actually shooting down some of the missiles that are
Yeah,
going over their airspace. And
yeah,
Saudi Arabia has bombed Houthi sites in
yeah,
Yemen.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, they're all making sure that everybody stays back and lets Israel do the dirty work that nobody else wants to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and so yeah, and it's what we're doing. We're doing the same thing. We're letting them, but uh,
Okay. Only problem is not you as United States as it is you as in okay.
well, I think everything said and done, Mark. I think Trump is showing great uh, uh,
Restraint.
restraint right now.
Yeah.
You
Wow,
know,
it's almost like we're married. I could finish your sentence.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was going to say resolve, but it was restraint. But yeah, uh, yeah, exactly. Because I don't think. I mean, here's the thing. A poll came out I think it came out today. 76% of the Americans feel, at least in this poll, feel that Iran should not have nuclear weapons.
Right.
76%.
Yeah.
But only 49% think that we should drop the bunker busters. We
Right.
should get involved with that.
Mm-hmm.
But only 45% are against it, and the others just undecided. I think so. It's
Wow.
showing we have a still a larger percentage of American people that think we should do it. A lot of people are just tired of messing around.
Right.
And you got to remember of that. A lot of that are the younger people that don't remember what it was like during the Iran hostage crisis,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
they don't remember 1978 and 79 and dealing with Iran. They don't remember what it was like when they were our allies.
Right.
The Middle
And
East was in pretty decent other than you had Egypt and Jordan, got a little uppity with Israel, but it didn't take but about 6 days to end that conflict. So,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
and after that, it was pretty well peaceful in the Middle East.
Right.
Gaddafi, I think, was still but he wasn't even really doing anything back when the Shah was still in power.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And we don't want to get involved because the last time we got involved, we took out the leader of Iran and put the Shah in place, and that was okay for a while. But then it wasn't okay, and it got
Right.
bad. So, and
Mhm.
that paved the way for the Ayatollah to come in,
Right.
and
Right.
but I think I I think if they can get rid of the Republican Guard, the
Right.
Ayatollah will go into exile.
Right. And where do you think he may go?
I hate to say it, probably China, because they're about the only ones that might accept him. Because
Uh,
I don't think Vladimir wants him in his backyard because he's already got enough bad publicity
right.
going, you
Right.
know. And I don't. And again, they may invite him there, and then unfortunately, because of his age and his, his different, his his afflictions of being an old, not living well, the rich food might be too much for him, and he'll die of some gastrointestinal disease.
Right. Well, yeah, he's 86 years old.
Yeah,
I was thinking, it's not too far to go to Afghanistan. I mean, it's almost the same kind of regime there. They probably would welcome him with open arms. And because they believe in
they
the same thing, they're a
yeah they do, but they
democratic
well yeah
government
theocratic,
there.
yes, yeah, but I don't know that they'll welcome him because there's I think they're on two conflicting points of view when it comes to
Oh,
that.
are they
I think it
Sunnis?
one Sunni and one Shiite, I believe.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I think the Ayatollah is Shiite. Yeah.
Shiite, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the Afghans are Sunni, but I may be wrong.
I have no idea there.
Because Iran did not support uh, the Afghans when we went to
Russia.
war with them. And they
Okay.
also didn't support them during the Russian conflict either.
Oh, okay. Interesting. You make a good point. I saw this interesting tidbit uh, about the breakdown of the religious sects in Iran. And you'd think, 99% Muslim. They're not,
Who's that?
because they're only 45% Muslim. The rest are either atheist, agnostic, Zoroastrian, or so it's not a majority of them think of themselves as Muslim. I also saw a video of while this is all going on, Iranian women throwing off their hijabs.
Yeah.
They're finally saying, "Yay! Finally, we could take these damn things off." And so
And they
it
didn't wear they didn't wear them prior to the Islamic
that's right,
Revolution.
right.
They were
That's
very westernized.
yes, they were. And and this is what I'm hoping. Who knows what the outcome will be, and who knows who's going to be in charge, because there may be a civil war that may happen after this, and that's the downside to this. But if it ends up being the Crown Prince Pahlavi, hopefully he'll not repeat the mistakes his father made by having more of a constitutional monarchy, to where they could have all the different factions,
Yeah.
be represented there,
Yeah.
because there is a large population of Kurds that live in Iran.
Right.
So there are different groups around the country, and I think it might be a fantasy. Yes, there are a bunch of Christians in Iran, because I have a couple friends one from my previous job and one from my current job, they're from Iran, and they're Christian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they were probably Christians. Well, they escaped. And the ones that are
Right.
still there probably practicing underground.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I think if Iran were to fall under if the current regime of Iran were to fall and they were to become a
republic, not an Islamic republic, but
no,
more
but
of
either a republic or become a
federation.
parliamentary,
Yes.
sort of like England.
Yes.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Constitutional monarchy.
Thank you. You
Yeah.
just said it earlier, and like I
Yeah.
said, I'm not playing full deck. I don't know why. Today's one of
Okay.
them days. I am just not on it. But I think that would probably stop a lot of the extremism that we've got out there. I mean, that
Right.
would, because this is the largest state sponsor of terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
Iran has sponsored more terrorist attacks than any other group in the world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And most of what's there are just proxies of, Iranian teaching,
Right.
and I think should they change, I think we'll see a lot of that going by the wayside,
Right. Right. And
because there'll be nobody there to support them,
right. Right. And I hope you're right. And it'd be great that if there is a regime
Well,
change.
I mean, look at Egypt. They actually, when they got rid of
Mubarak,
and then the Muslim Brotherhood got elected, the military stepped in and said,
yeah.
no, they're banned.
Uh-huh.
And they got rid of the Muslim Brotherhood, which was another branch of the Iranians, the
Right.
Iranian terrorists.
Yeah.
And Egypt, and then once they got them out of there and got them cleared out, then they turned around and now they're running a back to a decent government again.
Right. Right.
I think they've got a democratically elected government now, and but the military stepped in when it needed, because they didn't want, they didn't agree with Mubarak, but they didn't want
a theocratic government.
Yes, yeah, because they saw, because for one, the Muslim Brotherhood, you got to remember, Egypt is one of the oldest nations in the world that's still in existence, and I mean, they've been there since well before they were there before Moses,
Yep. Before Hebrew, or not Hebrew,
Abraham. They weren't.
Abraham. Yeah.
I don't know if Egypt was there before Abraham. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But probably because that was, everything started. Hello, cool cat. Yeah.
Hey, cool cat.
The gimpage. Yeah. But yeah.
But they
So I
did.
mean, I think because of they don't want that. They've
Right. They didn't want to be like Iran or Pakistan. Pakistan is their Islamic republic, but they actually had a woman president there.
Yeah, they're a republic, though they're not a. Yeah, it's because, and part of it has to do with the separation going back to India and Pakistan.
Right.
They were separated by, Britain actually brought that forth,
right,
and split them, and made.
I think that happened after India became independent. Then they decided this. They were actually East Pakistan, West Pakistan, and then East Pakistan became Bangladesh.
Okay, yeah. But it originally it was Hindustan, and then they created and then they split and became Hindustan and Pakistan,
right?
And then they became, and because there's still a lot of lot of the old people still talk about, their grandparents that were there during the division between them, and
Right.
a lot of people were being killed during that time,
Mm-hmm.
yet they'd all gotten along great until then,
Mm-hmm.
but then, and again, that's, when Pakistan became a Muslim state, because that's,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's where the majority Muslims lived at during the time of the British colonial.
yeah, yeah,
That was it. It wasn't called India. It was called Bengal, and it was that huge swath that
right,
was uh, Pakistan, and it went all the way to Malaysia.
Malaysia,
It
yeah,
was all under one umbrella, and then later it became, they called it
yeah,
India, and then there was Malaysia and Burma.
right,
Believe it or not, Thailand was the only southeastern nation that was never colonized.
right,
Yeah, yep.
yeah,
So I think the French got Indochina. I think it was after one of their European wars, where the loser lost their colony in Indochina, and that's
right,
how France
yeah,
got
yeah,
control of that. And yeah,
yeah.
so and that's a whole nother
Yeah, it's
story.
a whole nother story. So,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
getting
so
back to Iran, and yeah, if the Ayatollah were to either be unalived or fled to another country, uh, and their government falls, if the Republican Guard, I mean, we Israel has so decapitated their leadership there that I don't know how much longer the Republican Guard could stand up, and
yeah,
there are already uprisings going on around the country.
yeah, yeah. I was watching. It's funny. This guy that I've been watching, catches his. I catch him about once a day, and
Mhm.
he's Iranian, and he does this live stream, and it was funny. He said, "I want to show you where some of the people are starting to shout, down with Khomeini, And
Mm.
he says, people have been sending me these videos. He says, let's look at this one. And you hear this one guy shouting, death to Khomeini, except in Farsi or whatever
Right.
language they speak,
Yeah.
Persian, whatever it is their language is. And so, and one guy's supposed to start it, and then somebody else is supposed to yell it back, you know. And he finally, after he says, well, that wasn't quite he says, I don't want to show that kind. He says, from now on, he says, wait until after you started it and you got the chant going good, then send me your video. Don't just send me the video of you yelling it. One guy yelling it isn't an uprising. It's just
Right.
one guy shouting it,
Hmm.
But it was funny because it's like
Yeah.
they're trying to get started, but a lot of people are still scared.
Yes, that's
Maybe
right.
maybe that's a trick of the Republican Guard to get these people
Well,
shouting and then go arrest
it's
them.
either the Republican Guard or, there are thousands of clerics and mullahs there
Right.
in Iran, and they still have a lot of control.
Yeah,
So they may be.
I think we're going to see less and less of that, though.
I hope so. That would be wonderful if the government.
As you were saying, what was the percentage that are Muslims there? 47?
45%.
45%. That means they only have say over 45% of the people.
Right.
That
Hmm.
means there's another 55% that have no use for the mullahs and clerics.
Hmm.
And
Right.
the mullahs and clerics are only good for their locality.
Right.
They're like the local priest,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
or the local bishop or archbishop. But
Hmm.
if you don't, I don't expect everybody sitting here, right? The three of us, I don't expect you guys to follow what the Benedict,
Leo?
Yeah, Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Very
expect you to.
good.
Yeah, I had to stop and think for a minute. I don't expect you. If Leo said to do something, I wouldn't expect you guys to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like over there. If the mullahs say to do something,
Mm-hmm.
the only reason the mullahs have any and the clerics have any powers because they've got the backing of the Ayatollah. But
Right.
once he's gone, I think you're going to see their power is greatly diminished.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but I was just surprised when I found out that neither one of the Ayatollahs has actually been Persian. They weren't Iranian.
Yeah, that's interesting. Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was quite interesting. And but yeah. So, anyways, there was some other big news that came out today. It has nothing to do with this.
Right. And
Has
do tell.
the Supreme Court decision that came down today.
Oh, and what is that?
It was a 6-3 decision that held up the Tennessee law that bans
Oh,
the use of gender affirming
surgery on
surgery
women.
or gender affirming. They can't give them, for any minors. So
Right. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So they were a 6-3 decision, and Clarence Thomas wrote the assenting. Yeah, assenting and descending. So
Yeah.
descending is the minors. So
Right.
Sotomayor wrote that, and she said we're
Yeah, of
leaving back our
course.
transgender friends. But he says he said we have to look at without clear absolutely scientific evidence that this is a situation, then
Right.
we cannot make the decision, and we have to. And when there's so many opposing so-called experts on
Mm-hmm.
this, you have to question the so-called experts. So all of these doctors have been coming out saying it. Basically, Clarence Thomas said they're full of shit.
Right.
In a
Mm-hmm.
polite way. He says we cannot. Our law is based on what's good for the people of this land. In the laws, the states have that right to affirm what that is, and they've made a law based on common sense, basically, and
Mm-hmm.
discounting what the so-called experts says. And we have to question those so-called experts because there's no two that, and come down to the fact, there's no two experts that can say for certain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, they can't even, the liberals can't even name what a man or a woman is.
Yeah, that's right. Or which bathroom to use.
Exactly. So,
Uh-huh.
and I think this is the kind of, and he says, so we've got a law in the book that says that parents have the right to take care of their children, and that doctors are not allowed to. The state says that doctors are not allowed to give any gender affirming or gender reassigning surgery and or medical treatment to minors. So they
Right.
upheld the Tennessee law, and it's expected because there's supposed to be like 27 states already have that, and there's expected to be far more that are going to start. But so that was a big win for Tennessee and a big win for normality,
Right.
for common
Mm-hmm.
sense. For Sotomayor, she's going to write what she's going to write. We're
Right.
leaving him behind.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I mean, she's a true believer lib, and
Oh yeah, yeah. I give her credit. She has the guts to, she has
mm-hmm.
the balls to stand up for what she believes in.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And what else is going on?
that's as far as I got today. I was lucky to
Yeah.
get those two items.
Florida Panthers, Stanley Cup champions again, 2 years in a row. That's good on them. Somebody from Florida winning a Stanley Cup of all places. Who
Yeah.
would think
The most
hockey in
one of the
Florida?
most tropical states in the
Yeah.
United States, and they're winning on an ice competition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And who did they beat? They beat Edmonton Oilers Yeah,
Ah.
now that's a hockey town.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Edmonton, those Canadians, they've been playing hockey since they could walk. You know.
That's right. Actually, you know what? Hockey didn't start in Canada. It was actually a Dutch game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I think some bored guy who, when they started ice skating in over
yeah, it's
there,
just
they
a winter
decided,
version of
hey,
kick the can.
let's get the stick and push this round thing around, and then we'll come up with some rules, and we'll do it without a mask, without a helmet, and we'll. Oh, Kim. Oh,
Yeah, he's
Kim.
probably feeling neglected. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and I guess he relaunched the frigate. What's it, frigate?
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah.
Destroyer, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get.
Well,
Yeah.
I think he gave him a lot of incentive. He probably executed 3 or 4 top people and then said, "All right, now let's see if we can get this right." And everybody had a lot more incentive to get it right than wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what else is going on in the Middle East?
Was there not a hockey team? Because that's when you brought that up, it reminded me what I was going to ask earlier. Wasn't there a hockey team that was called the Kings?
Yes, L.A. Kings.
Okay, LA. I thought they were protesting. Because they don't. Because of the no more Kings because they didn't make the Stanley Cup playoffs. So
I think they moved to Sacramento.
they're again Sacramento. It's still California.
Yeah.
Still
State capital.
Yeah, but it's still California. So I can see why they were in California. They were protesting no more Kings because they want them out of the state. They haven't won a Stanley Cup in how long?
Yeah, it's been a while, probably in about 20 or 30 years.
Yeah. So I thought that's what they were protesting, but turns out apparently I was wrong.
Yep. So what else? Middle East. Yeah, some of those knobheads in Western Europe decide, we need a military embargo against Israel. Oh yeah. How about why don't you be on the wrong side of history again?
They might want to be saying that, but when you have the Chancellor of Germany coming out and saying that Israel is doing our dirty work for us, coming out when you got the Chancellor of Germany coming out in support, I think, that's probably a no-winner. Maybe you may have, and even Marcone, was coming out and so I mean, who's that leave? Luxembourg,
Yeah.
and Liechtenstein, maybe a couple of those places are, like they really supply a lot of arms to Israel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
This is the one time that nobody is really, there's a few hand wringers around there, but nobody's really getting nasty about Israel doing this. I mean, there hasn't been a UN resolution brought up yet,
Yeah, that's true. UN resolution. The only people that are screaming are leftists, and they're the ones that are protesting the ICE detention facilities.
Yeah,
they're the ones with the Hamas flags and shouting out from the river to the sea.
Yeah, what's happened to that? I haven't seen too many of those protests lately.
Oh. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you're right. And I think that's why they've got our support. LA Dodgers stopped ICE from entering the stadium. Really? Okay. Well,
Oh,
let them
well,
stand
maybe they
outside then.
wanted to deport that singer that sang our national anthem in Spanish.
Oh, that's somebody. Yeah, that would
Oh,
have.
yeah.
And she was so proud to have done it. Oh,
Yeah, she's, I call this her Sinead O'Connor moment. Yeah.
yeah.
Remember what Sinead O'Connor did?
Yeah, she did. It was on Saturday Night Live, wasn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember exactly. It had something to do with cussing. Was that when did she dress up as a nun on that one? And then she did, because she was pretty anti-Catholic. I know that's
Yeah, she's the one that ripped the picture
picture of the Pope. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
John,
yeah. That's what I thought.
John Paul II. Yeah,
Yeah, John Paul II.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's her
So
choice.
yeah. So if you want to make a career-ending decision, go right ahead. I mean, that's America. You can make dumb decisions.
Yes, we have the
At least you
constitutional
can
right to be
make a decision.
Yeah, we have the constitutional right to be stupid.
That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's exactly written that way, but that's pretty much what it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I
Yep.
think that's what most of them are going to say when they get older.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those were the times and the days, and I just wasn't. I've grown up and matured since then.
Mm-hmm.
Because if
Yep.
you look, a lot of the conservatives that we have nowadays used to be hippies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then they got smart.
Yep. Well, and some of them were marching in the No Kings rallies. The old hippies.
Yeah. You got those that are still trying to reconnect with their past, trying to remember their
That's
youth,
right.
remember the days of their youth.
Mm-hmm.
And they might have looked like old hippies, but if 5 will get you 10, none of them were at Woodstock.
Yeah.
Most of them were too scared to get involved with the sexual revolution. So,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
which unfortunately was over by the time I got around. So, well, it wasn't over, but it was winding down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Same.
mean, I'm not going to get out there and march for this. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
because, of course, then I was in the military when my friends were being hippies. So it's like,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
yeah, I've actually been getting in touch. I've had more people reach out to me since they know I'm coming to Colorado this year. I'm surprised how many of them actually served in the military. Most of them went in after I did. I went in early, and most of them waited a couple years before they went in after
Mm-hmm.
after. So uh so yeah, I was getting out when a lot of them were just joining. More reasons than anyone to be anti-Catholic. She had some adverse contact with Catholicism. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason for that.
Yeah,
Is she?
that was a big problem, not only in the Catholic Church, but now in the Mormon Church now.
Oh yeah, Mormons have been having problems like that for years.
Yeah.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
not talked about as much.
Right.
Sinead O'Connor, she died, didn't she?
Yeah, she died
Of
about
cancer.
a year ago, I
About a
believe.
year ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
died from cancer. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Karma's a bitch.
I was thinking she had, and that's sad that happened, but
Yeah, that is. Mm-hmm.
I was never a fan of her music anyway, so it wasn't
Me
like
neither. Me neither.
it wasn't lost on
And
me. So
Tracy Chapman, I still can't.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know. I didn't. Yeah. Never connected. She was hot for a minute there in the late 80s. And
right,
now
right.
she's kind of got a little bit of a resurgence lately. But
Yeah, yeah.
mhm.
Let's see what else.
What else? We got baseball. The Rockies still suck. They've only won 15 games after 2 months into the season.
Oh well.
What else? So, oh yeah, we got the NBA Finals. Yeah, your neck of the woods, Lloyd. It looks like your town, Oklahoma City, may just end up may
Hosting
have
the final.
already, huh?
Or yeah, I'm trying to think if they've won it or not. I can't remember now.
I think they. Well, I'll find out. NBA Finals. Maybe they're playing today. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. Michael, yeah. Yeah, I know that they're still.
Do. Oh, okay. They're let's see. Okay, they just had a game. Oh, they're playing tonight. They're playing tonight.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so that could be it. So they're playing the Indiana Pacers.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
so
That's right. I remember hearing about that now. I don't pay attention to that too much, even though, you know, we got a professional basketball team. I've never been a fan of basketball anyways.
I used to follow it quite a bit, except in the last couple of years. I've been following it because the Nuggets have been really good. They won back-to-back championships, and this year they came up just a little short. They just couldn't beat the Thunder. They made it to the conference final, but lost to the Thunder, and they
Yep.
gone to play.
Thunder lost their first game in the finals,
Right.
but then they've been playing ever since, winning since. So
Right. They're up 3-2
3
right
games
now.
to 2 right now.
So they win tonight. It's that's it. Yeah. What else? This is something completely different. I've been watching a new show on Paramount called Elsbeth. Not Elizabeth, Elsbeth.
Elspeth.
And it's quirky. It's a comedy. It's a dramedy. It's in a police setting where you have an ex-lawyer who got a job overseeing the police in New York City, but she's undercover for the Department of Justice because she was sent there to keep an eye on this police captain. It turns out he was totally innocent of wrongdoing, and so she's now part of the force there. She's the one that she kind of reminds me of Columbo because she's always saying, "Oh, and one more question," and she dresses in these loud clothes, and she's always carrying 3 bags with her.
Yeah, I think I've actually seen. I saw an episode or two of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
the last one I just watched. The one previous one with Vanessa Williams in it.
Oh, really?
And she still looks good, but she's in her 60s now, but she still looks good for her 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, Caitlin Clark is making her name for herself. She's
right.
She's been getting man. They've been treating her pretty shabby, and she's still.
Oh yeah, I know.
She's not taking it now. She's fighting back. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's a new show.
I think she's going to be. I think she's going to be the Larry Bird.
The Larry Bird
the WNBA, because I think she's turned into, because good God, that guy was a trash talker, and he could play some. You know,
Yeah,
it shows you how long it's been since I paid attention to
I know.
baseball.
Yep.
But I still like watching uh, the old videos.
The old videos, that
Because
was back when Magic Johnson was still
yeah,
playing.
it was before but Magic Johnson and before that even,
Take care,
back.
Brian.
All right, yeah, back when Kareem
Kareem
and yeah,
Abdul-Jabbar. Yep,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
still around
and
there. Yep. Hmm.
yep. So
Yep. And then we got Tulsa King's going to be starting up pretty soon.
oh,
Uh,
good.
and
They left it hanging.
next month is Strange New Worlds. Sadly, there's only going to be 2 more seasons. So
Yeah.
it's been canceled.
Yeah.
But they're going to make it to 5 years. So
Okay, well that's good. That's
so
good news.
hopefully they'll get some good programs out of it. I just hope they don't go down the road like Discovery did. That
Discovery started out down that road
yeah,
and just got further and further and further down that road. They went down the
yeah,
rabbit hole and never looked back,
yeah. Hmm.
Whereas Strange New Worlds, at least they've had their moments, but
Yeah. It wasn't so over the top.
yeah, I
Like
mean, look at the way they ended Picard. I mean,
yeah,
the new Enterprise captain was the captain and the first officer are lesbian lovers.
right. Hmm.
You can't go too much farther down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's right. And that's it. That's kind of what I'm worried about with Elsbeth. I hope that doesn't happen with her. That
Now, is she
police.
the one? Didn't she? There, I think the first one I saw, she was going to see a person that they were investigating had to do with. She was I don't know, an decluttering your life and stuff, and asked her why she carried the 3 bags. Uh, she needed to get, and she tried to get rid of a couple of her bags because she has all this stuff.
Uh-huh.
And this, and actually had her doubting herself. And finally, she said, "To hell with that," and went ahead and started going back to doing what she's supposed to do, which
Right.
become the investigator she was. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was the first episode,
Yeah, the pilot
the
episode.
pilot
Yeah.
episode. Yeah, that's what
Well,
I saw.
that was the one where let's see, I think it was the actress that got poison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That was the pilot episode. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that was it.
yeah,
That was it. Yeah,
I watched that and I go, this is interesting.
yeah,
Let's and so I've been kind of binge watching here and there and watching
yeah. I've
it.
watched it. I watched, I think, the next episode, and then after that, my short attention span moved me on to something else.
Yeah. Oh, you need to watch Star Trek Continues on YouTube. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll have to
Yeah,
watch that.
that's got some pretty good stuff in it too. I've watched it. Yeah.
All right, folks, we've covered
Yes.
just a little over an hour. And another good thing about Restream, they just added a new feature where they'll take your live stream and cut it up into bite-sized chunks, into shorts.
Yep.
And I've noticed, on my 3 Conservative Gimps page, they've been getting pretty darn good views on it. So
Right.
that's
And the
great.
Grumpy Vlogger just hit 70,000 views. So
Oh, congratulations.
I got the notice the other day about it. So
All right. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Juneteenth. And
have a good
tomorrow
weekend,
night
folks.
is my regular show, and then Bill's show on Saturday, and then Monday, check out this guy here. So take care and have a great weekend. Good night, everybody. God bless.
Good night, folks.